చోటు పొందగలిగాము.
Let us begin the session with the prayer. On behalf of Varsity Education Management Limited and NetBuddy, I invite you all for this interactive session. This program is going on live and the link was given and was circulated already. Varsity Education Management Limited is now very active in organizing seminars, symposia, conferences related to education. Today, I am very happy that we are switching over to the changes frequently made in the competitive examinations from time to time. And the main speaker will explain you about this topic maybe after a few minutes. Before that, I'd like to invite Mr. Yugandhar, who is the coordinator for today's session. Let me introduce Mr. Yugandhar. He is the old student of Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions. I don't know, looking into his face, we can't read his activeness. 2 years back, we were together giving a live program in TV5, and after completion of that program, I came to know that he has a lot of technicality because the presentation is excellent. And he will explain you how you can interact even after this session about the competitive exams. Mr. Yugandhar.
Good evening, friends. Hi. So like 2 years ago, we had a vision. We had a vision to share the advanced knowledge and the advancements of competitive exams to the rural India. So that's why we have founded a website, netbuddy.in. And I guess most of you might have already known about this website. So the advantage that a student can get out of this website is he or she can directly log in into our website. All the services are free. So he can directly interact with the tools present in the website like MCET rank estimator, mock counseling, or such kind of tools. So all these tools were able to help lakhs of students, and we are very proud to announce that almost like 500,000 students and parents are already using our services every year. So we now, because the technology has transformed a lot over the past 2 years, we wanted to have a higher goal, and hence our vision has been changed. Now we are entering the field of digital knowledge that should be transferred to the villages, and that is through this video. So we are trying to stream many of this type of events. We try to bring eminent personalities like our doctor sir and onto our stages, and we ask them to guide and motivate students, and we want this video to be seen by students all across the country. And that's why we have taken this initiative of broadcasting this live, so that people of rural India can also take the best advantage of this. So with this very few words, I would like to thank the management of Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions and Varsity Management Private Limited for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Yugandhar. This title itself is very broad, but today we may mostly confine about the competitive exams that students like you are going to take. There are 2 sessions. First 45 minutes we will deal with the topic in general. There will be a break for 10 minutes, and then we continue the interactive session. Whoever is interested, they can continue to be here, otherwise you can leave. There is a panel of experts for the interactive session. There are 3 subjects chosen today. One is physics. Mr. G. Srinivas, Executive Dean of Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions, and Mr. K. Ravindra Kumar, who is a colleague of me in the Varsity Education Management, will be the experts for the physics. And for mathematics, Mr. M. Umashankar of Sri Sarvani Educational Society, and Mr. GVR, the campus dean here, will be the experts. And for chemistry, myself, I am a chemistry man, and Dr. J.V. Krishna Reddy is a retired reader of S. Government College, Vijayawada. First, I request G. Srinivas Garu to speak something related to physics and competitive examinations.
Respected Director, dignitaries on the dais, staff members, my colleagues, Narendra Garu, and children. As far as I understand, varsity education is now entering into e-learning. This is a big umbrella. I'll give you it in one sentence. A teacher can teach in a classroom for at the most some 60, 70, 80 students. If I'm on a YouTube teaching, at one go, I can reach to millions of viewers. I'm happy that our director has now taken some interest in e-learning, and we are slowly entering into that particular phase. And with the amount of technical expertise Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions has, it is no doubt that we'll simply pull it off through, in maybe coming 6 months, you will be seeing a lot of changes as far as this e-learning is going to be concerned. I know our director, once he takes up a job, he will not take rest until it's finished. Let's come to the physics part of it. You all know that, maybe most of you must be feeling that physics is the most difficult subject when compared with maths and chemistry. Generally the order is taken as physics, then maths, and then chemistry. Chemistry is relatively easiest to follow. the recent past, as far as the textbooks of Andhra Pradesh State Board are concerned, there are a lot of changes made taking the central syllabus into curriculum. If you take an NCERT textbook and if you look at the State Board textbooks, there was a lot of difference 2-3 years ago. Now, because of the NEET examination, because of the JEE mains, because of a common examination pattern throughout India, all the textbooks and all the syllabi are coming into a unified umbrella. So there is a lot of change in the physics textbooks now. I hope you understand that. The best part of it is, if you take the NEET examination papers, I believe that with my experience, the local entrance examination physics papers, Andhra Pradesh EAMCET examination physics papers are at least 10 times typical when compared with the nationwide entrance examination. If you take a AIMS examination paper or a ZIPMER paper or some other examination which is concerned with AFMC like that, in the BIPC stream, the papers are going to be relatively easy, more theory oriented, and the number of problems which are being asked in the question papers as far as the nationwide entrance examinations is very, very less. That makes your job very, very easy as far as physics is concerned. I want some claps. You're very seriously listening to it. Thank you. And as far as the JEE mains examination is concerned, the standards of the papers are going to be the same, and whoever is appearing for the JEE mains examination, they have to look up into the core part of the subject, and we have to prepare. There is no change in the modus operandi for the preparation of that particular examination. So BIPC students, first, congrats to you. More students should be encouraged to join into BIPC, because physics is going to be a lot more easier now to write the NEET examination. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Srinivas. Now I request GVR garu. GVR garu will speak that mathematics is not tough, and he will bridge mathematics for central exams as well as state exams.
Respected Chairman Sir, MKM Gar, Ravindra Gar, Narendra Gar, GS Gar, my dear colleagues, my dear young friends, good evening. As far as mathematics subject concerned, in JEE mains, there are 30 questions. Out of these 30 questions, 15 questions are from first year syllabus and 15 from second year syllabus. In these 30 questions, 10 questions from algebra, 10 questions, 7 questions from calculus, 7 questions from geometry, 3 questions from vector algebra, and 3 questions from probability. 30 questions. In EAMCET, there are 80 questions. So, in JEE mains, the equal importance given to maths, physics and chemistry. But in EAMCET, 80 questions from mathematics and 40 from physics and chemistry. So, mathematics is the major part of EAMCET. In EAMCET also, in algebra 25 questions. In JEE mains, for each right answer, 4 positive marks, and for wrong answer 1 negative mark. But in EAMCET, there is no negative mark. So, in EAMCET, in algebra there are 25 questions, calculus approximately 17 questions, geometry geometry 17 questions, trigonometry 13 questions, probability and vector algebra 8 questions. This is the weightage of MSET and JEE mains. The pattern of question, the questioning in JEE is approximately equal to MSET questions. So don't worry about all these papers. Mathematics is one of the easiest subject. So don't worry. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, GVR Garu. I request Dr. J.V. Krishna Reddy Garu to speak something related to the competitive exams and chemistry.
Respected our chairman, Dr. B.S. Rao Garu, Dr. M. Krishnamurthy Garu, Ravindra Kumar Garu, and my official seniors, my colleagues and my dear students. Whether it is MSET or IIT main, JEE main, whatever may be the competitive exam, don't forget that each and every subject has got its own importance. Similarly, if it is chemistry, each and every branch is also having its own importance. Generally, students fear about, as far as chemistry is concerned, regarding organic chemistry. Not only students, some lecturers also make the students fear about organic chemistry. If the fundamentals are clear, organic chemistry is very easy. Whatever may be the competitive exam, generally 20 to 25% questions can be answered within 5 to 10 seconds for each question. That means within 2 to 3 minutes, 10 to 12 questions generally can be answered in any competitive exam, whether it is JEE mains or MSET or NEET, whatever it may be. So naturally, the questions that are taking more than 1 minute is, number of questions is only 3 to 4, that's all. Generally, merit students ignore memory-based questions. Particularly inorganic chemistry is there, Wars and its formulae. In electrochemistry, physical chemistry is concerned, nature of electrodes, what is the material that is acting as anode or cathode. There won't be any particular reason for a particular electrolytic process which is being used as cathode or anode. Those are to be simply remembered. They are to be memorized, that's all. As far as organic chemistry is also concerned, it is to be revised a number of times, particularly named reactions, etc., including mechanism, because sometimes intermediates are also asked. Don't waste much time on lengthy questions. First you go for the easy questions. After answering all those, then you go for lengthy questions. Merit students generally proud of doing difficult questions by taking 2 to 3 minutes. If it is like that, sometimes you may not find time to go through the questions even. That means you can't go through the questions also. If you can go through the questions, they can be answered very easily. That means you won't find the time to go through the easy questions also if you go on doing lengthy questions. It makes no difference whether it is maths or physics or chemistry. It also makes no difference whether it is organic chemistry or inorganic chemistry or physical chemistry. Each and every subject, each and every topic in a particular subject has got its own importance. If you do a question which is very difficult, after spending 2 to 3 minutes, you won't be getting 2 to 3 marks for that. It also carries only 1 mark. As I already told you, definitely 20 to 25% questions can be answered within 5 to 10 seconds for each question. So almost 20 months are over after joining your intermediate. 4 more months are left. These 4 months are very important. After 2 more months, again those 2 months will be more and more important. So kindly give importance to all subjects. That's my personal request. Though officially MPC, BPC, even in degree also MPC, BZC, chemistry is least. Mathematics, physics and chemistry, biology, zoology and chemistry. Officially it is there in least, but it is not a least. Nowadays it is having its own importance. In future it is going to play a dominant role as far as the competitive exams is concerned. I don't mean that don't pay much attention towards chemistry also. Give equal importance to all subjects. And I thank Varsity Education Management Limited for this opportunity. Thank and wish you all success with flying colors in your ensuing examinations. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna Reddy garu. Actually, this program was planned 3 days before, and there are time limitations. There are many such programs are planned in future. I'm sorry to inform you that we have not included biology this day, but will find its own time in due course. I came to know that already queries are coming, postings are there, and those who are sitting in front of the dais, they don't have the opportunity to post it in computer. Therefore, if some of you are interested, you just take a piece of paper, you write your name, you write your contact number, and post your query or question, and we'll pass it to the moderator here. Okay, and that will be continued even after 1 hour. Now, we are coming to the main part of today's session. I request Dr. B.S. Rao garu, the chief resource person for this session, to give his speech.
Dear students, good evening to you all. The topic of the day is about the competitive examinations you will be going to face. The confusion prevailing today is very disturbing to the students, teachers, and the parents also. I think I may have to take some blame regarding this confusion, because it is me who conveyed to the HR minister, then Mr. Arjun Singh, to conduct a common examination throughout India for the professional courses. I had been 3 times to see him with some personal work, and during the discussion he said, "Oh, you corporate colleges people give lot of stress and strain to the students." I said, "No sir, you are giving stress to the students and parents also." He said, "How is that?" Yes, your students after completing +2 are in our state intermediate, they have to take 7 to 8 competitive examinations every batch. 7 to 8 competitive examinations regarding medical stream or engineering stream. And for every competitive examination, 1,000, 1,500 fees is there. So how many families can afford to pay 7 to 8 examinations fees with 1,000, 1,500? That's one point. The second point, all the examinations are not one and the same. The pattern is different, the syllabus is different, and marking is different. So here is the point where the students take lot of pain to prepare for all these examinations. So you are giving stress to the students, not we. Then what to do? One country, one syllabus, one examination. Why don't you apply? Then he said, how is it possible? There are so many colleges. I said, sir, you got lot of machinery. You can rate the colleges. You can give rating to the colleges. And depending on the ranks, you can give admissions. and he worked out to some extent. Later it was handed over to the next minister. Somehow now it is coming true, there will be a common examination throughout India. But the sad part of the story, the implementation is not very systematic. Last year itself, they came out to introduce the examination. But in most of the states, state syllabus is entirely different to CBSE syllabus. And all the national computer examinations are based on the CBSE syllabus. So there is a lot of difference. I had to sweat a lot to see that our students are safe, not to implement NEET examination. Regarding IIT JEE examination, we have been prepared mentally for years together, so there is no problem at that point. The problem comes only with the medical stream, where we did not prepare mentally to take one examination with a different syllabi. So, we were successful to stop that examination last year. Again, the problem came this year. This year what happened, you know very well. The first year syllabus is changed completely and par with CBSE syllabus. We are very happy about that. But second year intermediate syllabus remains the same. So again, there is a lot of difference between CBSE syllabus and the second year intermediate syllabus. The topics which are there in CBSE +2 second year, we don't have. The topics we do have, they don't have. So students, they have to prepare both the syllabi if they want to come out successfully in the national competitive examinations. So I thought it is wise to introduce this examination next year when the students will be facing only one syllabus equal to CBSE syllabus. So first of all, we have to take care that there will be one syllabus throughout the country. Then we have to think of one examination. We forget about the syllabus and we come forward with the examination. There is something wrong in the communication, in the development. But one thing I want to stress, when the students are strong in the subject, whatever may be the examination, whatever the model of the examination, and whatever may be the questions, they can take the examination very easily. Only the difference in the syllabus. In the institutions like Sri Chaitanya, of course, keeping NEET examination in mind, we prepared the students for the NEET examination also. But students might have taken a bit trouble to prepare more and more with the extra syllabus. But what about the other students outside? There are so many students outside. They are not in touch with the extra topics which are in the CBSE syllabus. So they will be at a great loss. But one thing what NEET examination says, they give the paper in both the media, English and Telugu also, if you opt Telugu. And they say that there is no need to feel much to take the NEET examination for the Telugu medium students also. But what about the syllabus again? Telugu medium students will never prepare the extra syllabus naturally. So they will be at heavy loss. But here the positive point, when you opt Telugu medium in the question paper, your admission will be confined to Andhra Pradesh colleges, professional colleges only. That is Andhra Pradesh medical colleges. They don't give you seats outside the state. At the same time, when you opt English medium paper, there is every possibility that you will be given seats outside the state also. But as far as this year is concerned, whatever medium paper you opt, the admissions will be only in Andhra Pradesh medical colleges, not outside the state, because there is some GIVO Kashmir and Andhra Pradesh are not included in the general pool in the common examination. So they can't afford to send Andhra Pradesh students to out of state. So Andhra Pradesh students will get all the seats in Andhra Pradesh medical colleges only. So next year when the examination will be conducted, we will be very happy and we take it as a challenge to prove to the nation what are Andhra Pradesh students. They can do wonders definitely in the national competitive examination, NEET. I go throughout the country and observe that the way the AP students work, no other state students work in this way. So I am sure that when NEET is introduced, Andhra Pradesh students will bag number of ranks definitely, and top ranks, there is no doubt about that. And that is the time where Andhra Pradesh students will prove what is AP. And previously you know very well, where was AP regarding IIT JEE? We used to get only 100 and 120 seats only every year in IITs. But when we came into picture, Sri Chaitanya itself this year sent 1,500 plus students to IITs. Only Sri Chaitanya. And recently there is some report from the HR ministry. In the country, Andhra Pradesh stands second as far as number of admissions into IIT concerned. Rajasthan stands first, second Andhra Pradesh. And 2 years back, Andhra Pradesh was first and Rajasthan was second. So sometimes this side and that side. 2,600 students from Rajasthan entered into IITs. 2,400 students entered into IITs from Andhra Pradesh. Out of 2,400, 1,500 plus students are from Sri Chaitanya. That is also given. So major cake of the students entered into IITs this year are from Sri Chaitanya. The reason, the way we prepare the students for the competitive examinations. Just like that, there is no doubt we can prepare the students for the national competitive examination NEET in the same way, so that they can prove they can do far better when compared to the other states in India. So that is the time where we can show to the public, to the country what we are. There is no doubt we can be successful 100% in the national competitive examination NEET. And that NEET examination is not difficult. It will be easier when compared to MSET. And most probably without mistakes. MSET having a long history, till date, we do have some mistakes in the main question papers. Till date, we do have the mistakes. But the examination pattern is streamlined, there is no doubt. As far as NEET is concerned, it is 3 hours examination and with minus marks, that you should not forget. MSET, 3 hours examination without minus marks. And this year changed. Previously we used to mark with the ball, with the pencil. This year with the ballpoint pen. And the pity part of the story, we are already in February. Still, as students, we don't know what examination will be considered. The previous judgment of Supreme Court, you conduct any examinations you like. What examination has to be considered, we will tell you later. So there will be another judgment where which examination will be considered for the ranking and admissions into the medical colleges. It's already February. I think you don't see anywhere in the world where the governments keep the students in dark in the month of February. Just 3 months left to take your final competitive examination, and till date we don't know what type of examination will be considered. That is the pity part of the story. Anyhow, my suggestion is, when you are strong in the subject, whatever may be the examination, whatever the type of the examination, you can face the examination very easily. Only thing, you have to sweat every minute possible to show what you are to the public. When I said you have to sweat every minute possible, I never mean that you have to work day and night. The study time should be the same for the first day and last day. You should never try to increase the study time. You have to try to develop concentration. Time is a constant factor. Nobody can increase time in the world, but concentration is very, very variable. If you are a decided person, you can develop your concentration to any extent, to such an extent that once you go through some material, you can remember that for years together. So try to develop concentration. Don't try to increase your study time. So the best policy of a good student is always to develop concentration, to get maximum benefit in the little possible time, and that is possible only with the developing concentration. So developing concentration means going on sharpening your brain cells, and that sharpened brain cells will be with you throughout your lifetime. That you should not forget. And you have to know the difference between the board examination and the competitive examination. When you know the difference, you know how to prepare for the competitive examination and how to prepare for the board examination. All the board examinations, whatever they may be, they are all information-based examinations. That means for every question in the examination paper, there is answer in the book. So if you mug up, you will be able to get 90%, 95%, 98% marks. But all competitive examinations are concept-based examinations. That means for any question in the paper, there may not be answer in the book. Then how to answer? You are supposed to apply your concept to the given question and work out. Then only you will get the solution, that is answer. So basically, when you want to be successful in the national competitive examination, you are supposed to be strong in the basic concepts of the subject. That is very, very important. When you will be strong in the basic concepts, there are two conditions. You are supposed to be regular to the class. If you are absent for 2-3 days to the class, and on the fourth day when you come to the class, when teaching is going on, you may have to keep a blank face on the teacher because you lost the link in teaching. You will not be able to get clarity over that particular topic. After that, you may try to go through that topic 10 times, you may mug up, but you will never get clarity over the concept. Conceptual learning is very, very important regarding national competitive examinations. Second, concentration on the teacher while teaching is going on. Physically you may be in the class, but when you are diverted in the class, when teaching is going on, again you lose the link in teaching and you will never be perfect in the concept of that particular topic. So conceptual teaching and conceptual learning are very, very important regarding national competitive examinations. And most easy way of facing national competitive examinations is only concentration. Don't go on working hours together. From morning to night we do many things. Many things. Whenever you play, you are supposed to concentrate completely how best you can play. Whenever you discuss with your friends with some topic, complete concentration should be on the topic. Whenever you are in the class, complete concentration should be on the teacher. So from morning to night we do many things. When you are able to shift your concentration from one part of the life to the other part on the same day, everything will become very easy to you. So if you want to be successful, try to learn the technique of shifting concentration from one part of life to the other part of life immediately, so that everything will become very easy to you. Shifting of concentration will play a major role. Shifting of concentration will play a major role in getting a very good rank in the national competitive examinations. You know the subject, you are perfect in the subject, but you lose a mark in the question. The reason we say silly question, it is not a silly mistake. It is not a silly mistake. There the main blunder you commit is you complete the first question, you come to the second question. While reading the second question, you go on thinking whether did I do right or wrong first question. So while reading, you miss something and you miss exactly what is asked for from the second question. A single word in the question will change the whole meaning of the question. Sometimes a letter itself can change the whole meaning. So when you complete one question, you are supposed to forget completely about that question, and while reading the second question, your 100% concentration should be on that second question, so that you will not miss what is asked for there. Then you will not be committing silly mistakes in the examination. Knowing the subject, knowing the question and answer, and coming out without good mark is a sin in one's life. To avoid that, try to shift your concentration from one question to the other question immediately, so that you never make any silly mistake. So this shifting of concentration is very, very important in one's life. And coming to the national competitive examinations again, if you go through the history, change is always there in the society for thousands of years. You have to prepare for the change. Whenever there is change, the competitive-minded people get more and more fire and they break the records. So change should be welcomed. Change is the order of the day. But nowadays, changes are more and more. Then you are supposed to get more fire to prove that you can do something in these changed circumstances also. Now the major change is all the tests are online tests. The teachers first are supposed to be strong in the technology of IT to face this generation of students. Regarding teaching and training, the teachers are supposed to be strong in the IT technology so that they can educate the students to be strong in that area so that they can take any examination very easily tomorrow. Online examinations should be welcome. There will not be any mistakes usually in the correction part also. And on the top of that, you know very well immediately after the examination where you stand. If you look at the history of these examinations, first line, manual correction was there. Second, computer examinations were there. Third, web examinations were there. Now on the day, online examination. So tomorrow there may be another change. We have to prepare for that also. As on today, we will be preparing to take the online examinations, which is very, very important. When you take things positive, everything will become very easy to you. When there is some change, you should not break down. You have to prepare for that. You are so young and dynamic. You can do wonders, whatever may be the changes in the examination pattern. And dear students, finally what I want to say, most likely this year there may be only EAMCET examination. Most likely, because we are already in the month of February, that we should not forget, and the great people also should not forget. Announcing change of examination in the month of February or March is a sin on their part also. So I hope for this year there will be EAMCET examination only. It is my personal feeling. Next year we welcome NEET examination definitely, and as far as JEE examination concerned, you know very well the pattern also. Mains examination, there the board examinations also got some say, and after filtration there is advanced examination, there also 20 percentile will be counted. So some due importance is given to the board examination also. That is also welcome. Regarding IITs and NITs, we already prepared mentally, that is separate examination, so we need not worry, we don't worry also. The present problem is only about NEET examination. So we can take it positively. If at all there is change, I don't think there will be change for this year. And if there is change, we have to take it sportively and prepare in such a way that we get ranks just like we get in EAMCET. And it will be confined, again I say, to AP only. Our admissions will be confined to AP medical colleges, not outside AP medical colleges. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Maybe 28 years of experience of running an institution, and Dr. B.S. Rao Garu definitely is most competitive to speak on the competitive examinations. As per the time limitations, today we have confined only for the MPC stream and BPC stream and their competitive examinations. Sir, we have plans in future to extend these programs to CACPT related to accountancy and also civils leading to IAS, IPS, IRS, etc. Board examinations are of course important. For MPC stream, marks weightage is there, and we have many queries till now to explain what is percentile. I request Mr. M. Umashankar Garu, the Sarvani Educational Society, to explain what is percentile.
తల ఎత్తుకునే హోదా కల్పించాము.
The upcoming examinations, especially all the national entrance examinations, now they are considering intermediate marks and for preparing the national ranks, etc. for the admissions. And at the time of counseling, if we are observing that in several newspapers and all, they are nowadays regularly concentrating on a particular word, which is percentile. So percentage, so far well familiar term for us, now it is percentile. The simple example of the percentile is, suppose if any student has got 30 percentile, the meaning of 30 percentile is there are 70 students more than that particular mark and remaining 30 students are less than that particular mark. So that is the concept of the percentile. To evaluate this percentile, for each and every individual student there are several methods and methodologies. Because especially in JEE mains is concerned, first of all they are releasing national-wide ranks, national-wide marks. Afterwards, after completion of their board examinations, since every board has their own idea of preparing or giving the question papers and standards, and with those standards at several places and several states, people are getting different types of marks and different percentages of marks. To normalize all that kind of different boards examinations under a systematic manner, the percentile system is very, very useful. So how to evaluate that percentile system? And this is also very, very useful point for you, for both BPC as well as MPC students. Since in NEET entrance examination also, at the time of counseling, they are considering 50 percentile of marks. 50 percentile of your marks in the NEET entrance examination. At the time of counseling, they are considering. For them only they are giving preference. And they are eligible for the examination. And similarly, for preparing the national ranks in JEE mains also, our national CBSE board, they are taking 40% from the intermediate examination, and to consider that 40% of the marks from intermediate board examination, first they are preparing 100 marks percentile marks list. For 100 marks they are preparing 100 percentile mark list. For that they are doing like this. Suppose in our board, nearly about 10 lakhs students are writing the public examination. So 10 lakhs is the total number of the students appearing for the board examination. Suppose a student X, he or she got 900 marks. Then how to calculate that percentile of that particular student who got 900 marks? So for this, they developed one formula. The formula is, first they are calculating the number of students who got, or the number of students got less than or equal to 900 marks. Let it be A. So A is a number. That number indicates the number of students got less than or equal to the given number of, or number of marks at which we are going to calculate the percentile of the student. So if we are talking about a student and its a percentile who got marks 900. Suppose 900 marks is there. So first they are calculating number A. How to calculate A? Number of students who got, how many number of students are there less than or equal to 900 marks. That is the number A. And the same 900 marks, out of these 10 lakh students, several people may get. So they are considering the frequency of the students. How many number of students are getting 900 marks, or they are getting 900 marks. That is called frequency of that 900 marks. That is called P. So they are taking the formula like this: A plus half into B whole divided by total number of students appeared in the board examination. A plus half into B by total number of students appeared in the examination into 100. Into 100. And with the help of this formula, you will get a number. Almost that number is, almost it is very, you will get a cluster numbers. Even though, suppose if you consider the 10 students, and if the marks of the 10 students are like 900, 950, 940 are like that, if you are preparing this percentile chart, then you will find a smooth improvement. Means the numbers like 99.91, 99.9, 99.80, like that, a cluster series you will get it. So based on that series, they will maintain one particular mark list, and from that they are taking 40% weightage of the intermediate examination, and similarly out of remaining 60% of the weightage, their percentage of the marks they are taking from the entrance examination, mains or whatever it may be. Based on these two, they are preparing separate mark list, and from that for that mark list they are preparing the national ranks, and based on that national ranks they are calling for the interviews at the time of counseling. So this is the way to calculate the percentile for each and every student as far as board examinations are concerned. So the percentile, how to calculate the percentile, got the idea now? Tell me. Suppose if a student, suppose how to calculate the percentile of a student who got 950 if 10 lakh students are appeared in the board examination. So first, number of students, total number of students who got marks less than or equal to 950, that is the number A. And how many number of students got 950, that is called frequency, that is B. So the formula is A plus half into B whole divided by total number of students appeared in the board examination. If it is 10 lakh students, so they divided by the 10 lakhs, they will into 100, and from that you will get the number. This is one methodology of calculating the percentage, and this methodology is very useful and applicable for board examinations. But whereas NEET examination is concerned, there in our examinations and all, there are three parts. One is biology, another is physics, and another is chemistry, and total. So in biology, there are some state ranks. To calculate the percentile of a student with respect to the state ranks is also possible. Suppose in the NEET examination, there are suppose 1000 students appeared for the NEET examination. To calculate that percentile of a student with respect to the position in the campus as well as in the state, we can do like this. Suppose a student got some X rank, and in that particular examination, n number of students are appeared for the examination. So they will calculate the percentile of the student with respect to the rank according to this formula. N is the total number of students, and if R is the rank of the student, then the formula is N minus R whole divided by N. N is the number of students, R is the rank of the student. So how to calculate the percentile of the student with respect to the rank? The formula is N minus R whole divided by N into 100. And the number of students appeared in the examination minus his rank divided by the total number of students appeared in the examination into 100. With that formula, you can calculate your own percentile also. You please try for that. Based on that percentile, you will get the idea, the position and all, and how to understand the concept of the percentile. Suppose if a student got 40 percentile, what does it mean? The meaning of that concept is there are 60 students more than you and 40 students less than your mark. So based on that, we can assess our positions and all. So don't get any confusion with the calculations of percentile and all. This kind of methodologies and several other methods are also there. These are the simplest methods to evaluate the percentile one. And nowadays, to normalize all the different varieties of the boards, examinations and all, our government or the national government means the CBSE board departments, they are they are doing work on particularly on this area, and based on that they will prepare the national wide ranking list for counseling. Thank you, one and all, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Umashankar Garu, for explaining the calculation part of the percentile. And finally, the turn of my colleague in the dais, Mr. K. Ravindra Kumar Garu, is acting as moderator today for the interactive session, and I request him to speak and conclude this session.
Respected Chairman Dr. V.S. Rao Garu, my dearest learned colleagues here, and my dear friends. So, I would like to say thanks to Chairman of Sri Chaitanya Institutions, Dr. V.S. Rao Garu. This is the first webinar of netbuddy.in, and we are very proud as our chairman sir inaugurated this program, and I would like to thank G. Srinivas Garu, Krishna Reddy Garu, G.V.R. Garu for giving you valuable information. Next, I would like to thank Umashankar Garu, who explained about the percentile calculation excellently. And as I have received a lot of queries, of course, all these, actually many of these were explained by our chairman sir, and some more questions are there. Due to the limited time, I think you can get the answers for these, which will be posted in this same web, NetBuddy. And coming to the coordinator of this program, Veeramachan Yugandhar, I would like to say proudly, he is our Sri Chaitanya student. He is doing his final year, last semester, here only in Vijayawada. And when he was doing intermediate like you, from that time only, he used to fiddle with the computer. We think that computer is meant for Facebook, Google, Gmail, like that. But at that time, he tried to explore the other side of Google. Why I'm saying no? On behalf of Sri Chaitanya, I would say proudly that when recently a campus recruitment test was conducted, after a lot of filtrations, I think 6 or 7 steps were conducted over 24 hours almost. And from this region, Mr. Yugandhar is the only student who got selection for Google India. And from my side, I would like to feel proud about not only myself, all of us must feel proud about our chairman, Dr. B.S. Rao Garu, and we must feel proud about our organization, Sri Chaitanya. And Mr. Yugandhar, he is working as product quality operations head in Google Hyderabad, and he is going to join this organization in July. So I feel very proud. Actually, when he approached Dr. M. Krishnamurthy Garu, that he is planning a webinar, and Mr. Krishnamurthy Garu consulted our chairman, Dr. B.S. Rao Garu, and we requested our sir to start this webinar, and he obliged kindly. And I hope whatever, as Mr. G has told, whatever will be started from his hands, when he inaugurates something, it flourishes in the coming days. And I hope the same mission will continue. And I think in the coming days, more discussions on webinar will be there regarding subject and what are the topics to be covered, what type of webinars you are getting in this site. Those will be displayed in the website itself. So anyway, due to the limited time, directly, of course, all the questions are repetitions which I have received here. More than 80% questions were answered by our director sir, and remaining 20% almost were answered by the experts. So I hope in the coming days you will utilize the same sessions delivered by University and NetBuddy, and I would like to say all the best to you and thank you very much, and we would like to conclude this session. Okay, thank you.